Before the Iconians, Vardwar and even the Klingon War, Mark Hale here was a lieutenant serving in 2270 on a Pioneer-class starship when that ship was destroyed over Caleb 4 by Klingons in a deal with the Nakul, time travellers. Agent Daniels from the 31st century had been working alongside us to correct this time aberration, and eventually he recruited us as fellow agents to be based in the 25th century. A new fictional history was constructed for Hale, placing him and some of his senior staff in deep cover in Starfleet, with the promise that at some time in the coming days we'd be called upon to act on behalf of the Time Agency once again. And that time has come. One day, an unannounced Daniels calls in to us via subspace.
We've detected significant temporal activity in the Galorndon Core system, circa the 23rd century. I'm going to investigate it, and I'd like you to join me. We believe the Nakul are involved, along with a Planet Killer, a doomsday machine. If so, we need to stop them at all costs. I'll provide your ship with holographic camouflage. It's best if the Romulans of that time don't see a vessel from the future.
Galorndon Core, originally a Romulan world, it was then seized from them by the Klingons until 2257. Then, as borders shifted, it ended up falling closer back to Romulan territory again and was reclaimed. By 2366, it was under Federation control, being one of the most tenuously connected locations in Federation-claimed space. Now, after decades more, the planet has fallen back into Romulan hands, but with the loss of the Star Empire, it's now one of many outstanding territorial issues that needs to be resolved. Now, whatever Daniels has in store for us, let's herd these Gekli out of the area first. So originally an M-class world, the planet still has an atmosphere and habitable conditions, but its high electromagnetic storms and energy spikes across its surface not only scramble electronics and most technology, they also mess with the nervous system, causing synaptic disruption, eventually leading to death. So whatever interest this planet once had as a potential colony world has all but dried up. In 2366, Geordie LaForge was marooned for a time on this planet's surface along with a Romulan scout, Bokra. Through cooperation, they both managed to escape. Just like these Gekli. Go, get, shoot. Stuff's about to go down here, maybe, I don't know, but whatever it is, what is that? A little warning next time would have been nice, thank you. So, Temet confirms that our ship has adopted the outward appearance of a Tillis-class warbird, and that we appear to have jumped back to the late 23rd century, Hale's home era.
Thank you. I've also transmitted files that will establish your cover identity as Tal Shiar security operatives. You'll need to put this data into their local network before entering the research facility, however. There's a comms satellite nearby that you can use to accomplish this.
We set a course for this satellite to input our cover story. Also, I have no idea when Daniels boarded. One minute we were just waiting for him, the next there he was and we're back in time. So the planet that confronts us is not the stormy, opaque marble of a ruined world, but that of a lush and diverse M-class planet at the height of its Romulan occupation. The Tal Shiar is a good cover story as it gets, really. Throughout most of Romulan history, they have policed the people in secret, and their harsh methodology has kept prying eyes from digging too deep into their agents' identities. The ruse wouldn't hold up against real Tal Shiar inspection, of course, but I trust Daniels has already considered this and will be out of it before that becomes an issue. Despite their fearsome reputation, Temet points out that we should expect Tal Shiar Authority to rub some commanders the wrong way, as unannounced visits from the Romulan secret police are seldom cause for celebration. As we close in, a familiar silhouette resolves itself. We've seen one of these before in 2409, a Planet Killer. Although who knows, this might be the same one. Spoilers, it's not the same one. So, Daniels' intel was correct so far, but is this a temporal issue? The answer to that question too becomes apparent as we close in. An Akul Deimos destroyer holds position above the weapon. Strangely, the weapon is not active in any way. In the past, all instances of this device have seen it rampaging unchecked through solar systems, destroying and consuming as it goes. Yet here it passively sits in orbit. We give it a scan to see if we can work out why, and are promptly told off.
Tal Shiar vessel, cease all sensor scans of the device immediately. You do not have the proper clearance.
Watch your tone, Nakul. We will respect your wishes. For now. What do you think? Too hammy? Play it down a bit? Instead of pushing our luck, after all the Nakul are not native to this time frame, so they are more likely to rumble our ploy, we turn to beam down to the planet itself.
Mareri. This is Galorndon Station Command. Please transmit your security credentials.
Acknowledged, Station Command, transmitting now.
Data received, Mareri. Welcome to Galorndon Core. Sending you transporter coordinates now. I've taken the liberty of informing Commander Chulak. I'm sure the Director will want to greet you personally.
Very well. I look forward to it.
Doomsday machines seek and destroy planetary bodies, consuming what remains as fuel. And yet, there's one in orbit just sitting there, peacefully. It looks like reports of the Nakul gaining the ability to control the machines are accurate. We need to find out how, and fast. Your holographic disguises should conceal you while you search the facility. Good hunting.
Tarsi, in command of the Armiger from above, will keep an eye on the Nakul and Planet Killer while we do our investigations down here. Unfortunately for this Commander Chulak, history will remember him as losing to the Federation in a skirmish at Galorndon Core, at least in STO's continuity. In the Enterprise novels, he was alive in 2157, so here we have two differing sources contradicting. Not every memory beta story lines up, but STO does its best to cram in as much as it can. The planet is a thriving colony world at this moment in time, although it does seem more of a military outpost base than, say, a colony settlement, but I have to say the Romulans really do try to make things look good. The peaceful sounds of the water, a soft warming breeze over neatly maintained grasslands. Shame it was probably all built on the backs of Remans rather than the toil of those who just wanted to create something beautiful. And the strange lack of activity makes it all seem equally hollow, although that could be because the Tal Shiar visit here has all the Romulans who work here on edge. And one last touch I noticed is the era-appropriate Romulan emblem on prominent display. See, birds of prey have always been a staple of Romulan culture, but it wasn't until later that they adopted the raptor as the military crest. Still, the fact it's on every other surface shows that the Romulan nationalism is as strong now as it will be in the future. We begin by trying to get into the building being guarded by Nakul soldiers, but the Tal Shiar hold no power over the Nakul.
This area is restricted. You need to leave. Now.
I am a sub-commander of the Tal Shiar. Step aside, Varul.
My orders are clear, Romulan. No one is to pass this point until the meeting is concluded. No one, not even Chulak himself.
So we are denied then? I'll be sure to pass this on up. But no matter what we say, he will not allow us to entry to this building, so let's try some others.
Sub-Commander, it is my duty to inform you that this area is restricted. Sir.
The Nakul may not fear the Tal Shiar, but this poor guard certainly will. You best be sure of your orders. It's not wise to refuse the Tal Shiar, son.
Yes, Sub-Commander. At once. Forgive my rudeness. Access granted. Let me get the door for you.
Thank you. Your service to the Empire has been noted, Centurion. With that, we are allowed entry and can peruse this office at will. Our behaviour is not even that suspect, as this could simply be an unannounced Tal Shiar investigation on whoever's office this is. Oh, it's the surveillance room. Every square metre of this place is under observation. Of course it is. It's a Romulan base. The logs indicate that there is a signal being emitted from the room being guarded by the Nakul. Every time the machine begins to power up in orbit, they transmit something that puts it back to standby. So the Nakul have indeed found a way to tame the Planet Killer.
Sub-Commander, I've been instructed to grant you access to this facility.
Let's play up the investigation. And do you agree with that command, Centurion?
Of course, Sub-Commander. My family is a friend to the Tal Shiar, and loyal to the Empire. Access for you and your team is granted.
Dutiful service to the Empire is always rewarded, Centurion. Carry on. The reward is I don't kill you. Okay, I'll shut up now. I'm glad he didn't hear that. So, we are in Chulak's office. He has statues depicting ancient Romulan ancestors. One is wielding a Vulcan Lerpa, but it's his personal logs we have been granted access to. Seems the commander wants us gone as soon as possible, and is hoping that his openness will placate the Tal Shiar.
The Senate has dispatched an agent from an alien race known as the Nakul. Repugnant creature, but she's of a keen mind and cunning I can appreciate as a Romulan officer. If only her visage wasn't so hideous. She boasts she has a weapon that will turn the tide in favor of Romulus. An old song, to be sure, but she sings it sweetly. Krog's mysterious backer, the so-called envoy, has made an impression in the right circles of power. We'll see if he can deliver, however. Data on his miracle weapon is due to arrive soon. Those scars, truly hideous. Krog is practically radiant in comparison. My researchers have analyzed the Nakul weapon data. It matches a report we have on an incident in Federation space involving a Doomsday machine. If accurate, this weapon destroyed USS Constellation and nearly rid the cosmos of USS Enterprise. It seems Enterprise's thrice-stamped captain exposed a vulnerability in the weapon. I shall have to address this with Krog upon her return. Krog arrives tomorrow, along with her reportedly improved weapon. I believe the envoy will be making an appearance as well. It seems it's the season for guests. If my agents are to be believed, we'll be getting a visit from the Tal Shiar very soon. I'm already suffering the witless bureaucrat from the Senate. To endure the serpents of the secret police is nearly too much to ask of a true Romulan.
So, this Nakul leader called Krog answers to someone else, a scarred envoy. It seems that Daniels has picked a time when both Krog and this mysterious benefactor will be in the same place, as this last log mentions our visit as well, so it must only be hours old. Eventually, we are directed to a reception for an upcoming meeting, one that the Tal Shiar would be very interested in attending.
Sub-Commander, if this Doomsday weapon lives up to the Nakul woman's boasts, it will ensure the Empire's dominance over the entire quadrant. The Federation and the Klingons will have no choice but to bend the knee to Romulus, or face annihilation.
We could suggest this might not be so easy, a bit of pride slipping through, or we can keep asking questions like a good serpent. And do you trust the Nakul, Chulak?
No. Trust is a hard-earned currency. However, I respect their weapon.
Greetings, Sub-Commander. I knew it was only a matter of time before the fabled Tal Shiar came to call. The Nakul have brought a glorious weapon to your empire. You won't be disappointed. I can assure you.
We can threaten the specialist, which has very little point. She's not really beholden to the Tal Shiar. So we simply state that Romulus has had tide-turning weapons before, yet none have lived up to the lofty title of a doomsday weapon.
This one shall, Sub-Commander. Beyond measure.
With that statement, the meeting begins and we all filter into the conference hall.
Your attention, please. Let's begin, shall we? We thank Specialist Krog of Nakul for joining us. We have concerns about the dangers involved with this weapon.
You have nothing to fear from the machine, my friend.
Would you be so confident if you were here, Envoy?
Utterly so, Commander. Soon, the Doomsday Machine will bring our foes to their knees.
Bold words, Envoy. We shall see, won't we?
It would seem a demonstration is in order. See to it, Krog.
As you wish. Shall we, Commander?
Very well. Show me what this beast of yours can do.
It will be my pleasure.
Enjoy the show, interloper. They are using holographic disguises. Guards, deal with them.
Ah. Ha ha. I don't suppose we can talk our way out of this, because it's going to go badly for you otherwise. Well, that's a no. Unfortunately, the Romulan guards are rather poorly equipped to deal with the 25th century technology. They don't even have personal shielding to protect them, whereas Starfleet of 2409 finally made a power source small enough to carry that powered such shielding, so we easily fight our way out. The base is now fully alerted to our infiltration, and the Nakul have pulled out, leaving the inadequate Romulan soldiers to try to stop us. We were supposed to be making as small a footprint as possible, but I guess Daniels knows what he's doing when he dropped us into the thick of it. We take the opportunity, however, to fight our way to the courtyard to the room that the Nakul denied us originally. It's the only location that still has the red-robed aliens guarding it. We take them down, and they are noticeably more difficult to beat. They retain both their shielding and holographic time-shifting after-image technology that we first saw in 2270, but eventually they too fall. With the guards gone, we can break into this locked facility, and once inside locate the device that controls the Doomsday Machine. As we remove it, more Romulan forces beam in to secure the base, but my team holds them off while we get a transporter lock on this red sphere. Recovering the device and denying the Star Empire its future acquired weapon, we return to orbit.
We're trying to get our computer to interface with that Nakul control console, but their tech is quite advanced. I need at least 5 minutes to integrate it.
Make more time, pun intended, because there's an enemy fleet out there and a rogue doomsday weapon advancing
Your
on us.
uninvited guests will make a fine target for the weapon, Chulak.
With that, the Nakul fleet attacks us and the doomsday weapon begins to charge up. Our first priority is to not be in front of it. The Nakul destroyer Retribution has a facing shield that is nearly impenetrable and can create a displacement image of itself like their soldiers can. They also have a powerful plasma wave weapon. That, like the Planet Killer, has a conal area of effects that can be hard to evade in a slower vessel.
The Doomsday Machine is about to open fire! The console is ready. Get close to the Doomsday Machine so we can transmit the control codes.
The Romulan ships aren't too much of an issue, but the Retribution makes them a very real threat, as even a plasma beam from the 2200s can pierce the hull of an unshielded vessel.
We need to get within 5 kilometers of the Doomsday Machine to transmit the control codes. Activating shutdown protocol. Now. Something is wrong. It's not working. It's firing indiscriminately.
Enough! It's only a matter of time before that thing destroys the planet! All ships, destroy the Doomsday weapon and the cool ships! Now!
It's targeting us again. We need to move.
We make a break to get away from its firing arc while the Romulans focus not on us but the chaotic Planet Killer.
Romulan attack!
That was close. Almost got this console working.
All ships! Protect the planet from that machine at all costs!
While Chulak, learning from Kirk's encounter with the Planet Killer, as noted by his reports in his office, fires all weapons down the throat of the machine while it's not firing. We in the meantime are left to deal with Krog on her ship, which appears to be an even match as we repeatedly receive a harder hit as we give. At one point our ship's hull drops to the red as we lose shielding, but we manage to recover by pulling away. Eventually, however, things take a decisive turn in our favour as the Planet Killer faces the Nakul destroyer and catches it in a blast.
Yes! The Nakul ship is about to be food for the beast! That should end it. Wait! What's happening? The machine! It's on a collision course! No! No! I don't know who you are, and I don't care. You helped us with the traitorous Nakul, and that earns you a reprieve. For now. Leave while you still can. I won't ask twice.
As you wish, Commander. Of course, you could probably ask the Federation to help evacuate the planet. They'd help, probably. Temet informs us that the Armiger is ready to return to the 25th century. It seems Agent Daniels has left instructions on how to create a temporal drive for the Armiger. I guess we're in this for the long haul then. Daniels himself is nowhere to be found, but he left a message with Temet saying he'll meet us in 2410. So this is why Daniels needed us for this mission and didn't really care what we got up to down there. This whole act was a paradox. This is always how Galorndon Core was wreathed in its strange storms. A planet killer crashed onto it combined with the strange artifacts of a Nakul destroyer.
The Nakul ship must have detonated within the Doomsday machine. Disrupted it somehow. This must feel like a Pyrrhic victory at best, too.
What the hell was that? What happened to your face?
An occupational hazard, I'm afraid. I'll be fine. What matters is that Chulak and his allies would have killed billions had their plan succeeded. Instead, his life is a cautionary tale, forever disgraced by his loss here today. We stopped them this time, at great cost. Clearly, the Nakul and their leader, this envoy, are willing to do anything to win this war, even commit genocide. It's unfortunate that Chulak didn't stand up to the Nakul sooner. It might have prevented this tragedy today.
Or would it? Because looking at the planet now, it's no different than when we left it. So this was always to have happened, presumably? But I guess Daniels is the one with the agency and a pocket temporal observatory. He is far more experienced in this sort of thing than we are, and that is saying something. Either way, now we have a face to put to the enemy, a scarred and twisted one, but it's the envoy. This benefactor of less advanced powers seems to be trying to sway history in his favour. I guess he's another faction of this temporal Cold War, but it's very hard to see the full picture when you're only one tiny piece of a puzzle. As for that ripple in time that hurt Daniels, well, we'll have to see where that leads, because he's definitely holding back the full picture on us. So, until the next time, whenever that may be, thank you for joining the adventures of the USS Armiger in the ever-evolving narrative of Star Trek Online, and I hope to see you in the past, tomorrow, or the future of yesteryear, or whenever. Thanks again for watching. I've been Rick, and until next time, goodbye.